Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name's Ardil and today's video is all about a Lamborghini Urus that we've upgraded with a full custom sound system. But I am so proud of our team. They've absolutely smashed this install completely out of the park. The install is amazing. The sound is unbelievable. Honestly, we can't get this across on camera, but honestly, this system is incredible. You would have seen in the previous videos on Behind the Sound, you would have seen how the car actually came in, and that was a good example on Sound Off, where we actually talked about the components and what we're actually putting in, as well as all of the fabrication involved to get this car sounding incredible. So we've got so much to show you in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's go. But before we get on to today's video, make sure you guys at home have subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we've got a massive competition live on our channel at the moment. We're giving away a brand new PlayStation 5 as well as an Audison Prima amplifier. All the details are in the description below. However, let's get on with today's video. So starting off then with those higher frequencies and sat in this car, they look absolutely stunning. It's quite an obvious change that we've done to the Lamborghini Urus. We've got custom A-pillars completely built in-house, and they're actually finished in the exact color of the vehicle. That is actually a Lamborghini color custom Audison Thesis tweeter that are now on axis. If you want to see a little bit more detail about how we actually fabricated custom A-pillars on a Lamborghini Urus, check the link up here, guys. It is well worth a watch. We talk a lot more detail about that. But those high frequencies in the car, we've moved away from a stock location, put them on axis, and honestly, soundstage absolutely beautiful. The Audison Thesis tweeters, you would have seen it used a lot of times in installs, and honestly, there's a reason for that. They sound so incredible. If you guys at home were paying attention in volume 1, when the car came into us originally, you would have seen that these surrounds were actually in silver, but now we've customized them to Lamborghini orange, exact color of the vehicle, guys. So a lot of detail goes in to doing a system. We've also customized the interior a little bit more as well. Blends in really nicely with those lovely Audison Thesis tweeter that are now on axis. But what's actually behind here? You would have seen again in previous episodes, something called an Audison Thesis sax. It's a 6.5-inch woofer that provides an immense amount of mid-bass performance in the vehicle, and that is why we've used the component into a stock location. In terms of obviously in this door, we've not only added in that component into a custom 3D printed ring that again is color coded to the vehicle, even though it's completely hidden away. We've actually color coded that ring to the car, running new wiring to everything as well. So using very high quality connections grade wiring, because there's no point investing in, say, an Audison Thesis sax or any upgrade without investing in the correct cable to get the power and signals over to each individual component. We've also soundproofed the door well, which builds a far better acoustic environment for the system to work in, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. With the vehicle being of the size that it is, it's imperative that when we're doing a system, we think about an overall soundstage in the vehicle. And what that means is adding on rear speakers, which makes a world of difference, especially in a cabin this size. It really does allow the sound to travel all over the vehicle. For those rear passengers as well as for the front passengers and the driver, it's very important that we have a rear setup. What we've actually using into stock location for the rear is actually an Audison Voce tweeter, which sits into the B pillar here, and that is actually completely hidden away in stock location. Then inside the rear doors, again acoustically soundproof, but also we're using a custom 3D printed ring again in the back, new wiring to everything as normal. So the same woofer that we've got in the front doors, we've actually added those same set into the rear of the vehicle, creating a lot more mid bass in the vehicle. So soundproofing, you would have heard me talk about in plenty of videos, but what actually is it? It's a 3mm layer that gets applied inside a door or inside panel work to reduce rattles, resonations, but also build a far better acoustic environment for the system to work in, as well as get rid of a lot of the road noise. We've added in 100 sheets of skins 3mm layer into the vehicle, which makes a world of difference, and you'll see the advantage of that once you actually see what we've done in the boot, because it stops any rattles or resonation inside this car. You can play this volume on this car literally full whack. You can have an immense amount of bass, but there's no rattles whatsoever. I want to just give you an example. I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but this is a non-soundproof panel on the wing of the vehicle. So when I knock on this, you'll hear what it sounds like. So quite rattly, and also a lot of resonance inside there. But now in an acoustic soundproof door, really nice and solid. The reason why that is because that panel, basically the skins layer, applies to the actual panel, making it a far more rigid area, which then obviously helps against sound waves when that speaker is playing backwards in terms of what's called back waves, hitting that soundproofing actually making it far more solid and controlling that sound, firing it directly back into the vehicle. So when you are playing full volume inside the vehicle, for instance, or at louder volumes, what you actually find is it's not actually that loud outside the car, because it's all about being inside the car and enjoying that acoustic heaven that we've built. Last but not least, we've got something absolutely phenomenal to show you guys. So just check this out. Inside the boot of this car, we've got something so special here. We've got two subs on either side of the vehicle, and the customer was after a very custom look. That's exactly what we've achieved, but in a really unique way, which we'll move on to shortly. In terms of these actual sub boxes that we've got on either side, one's without the grille at the moment, just to show you the actual sub itself. So these are two Horningsea Legend subs that will obviously have the protection grille just like the other side, but again customized with that orange, the same color of the vehicle, that blends in so nicely with the rest of the interior, and it looks literally like it's meant to be there. But that is no easy task. When we're fabricating these sub boxes, there's actually a whole video designated to these sub boxes, because it's an immense amount of work to make this actually happen. Click up here to check that out right now, guys. But in terms of the actual system itself, for making these absolutely fit inch perfectly is honestly no easy task. Our team have absolutely smashed this out of the park. Those sub boxes are in custom boxes, but also what they're actually done is done in such a way where it's fully reversible. We can actually remove these completely from the car, return the car back to stock with zero damage done to the vehicle behind the scenes, which is absolutely an exceptional achievement in itself. Those subs are performing a massive amount of bass in the vehicle. Honestly, your hairs just starts moving inside the car when you do turn it up. Honestly, absolutely incredible. One really nice thing about the passenger side, we've actually relocated the 12-volt socket, as well as actually suspension height ability to be able to adjust that at any given point as well. So that's all relocated into the panel as well. What we've actually managed to do is retain this top piece so the parcel shelf can go back in, as well as underneath here. This is all where there's hidden amplification, but we've got two ways of doing this, and this is the really nice thing about this system. We've obviously got this custom look here with the custom floor, which we'll move on to shortly, but we actually have the ability to lift this floor out at any time with ease. So the customer can do this at any time. Literally lift this floor out and put the factory floor back in, and it's seamless. Literally nothing's on display, and you've got full use of your boot back again. So honestly, you've got two different options. Whenever we're designing these systems, we go through all of this with our customer, so we can go through and design and fabricate the best possible solution. What the customer was after was having a little bit of a window to see the amplification on the actual boot here. So in terms of this, in terms of the design to start with, this is all a Milano black floor, which is all retrimmed across the whole boot area. But also we've actually got little windows highlighting the 3 Audison amps at the top. However, there is another Audison amp underneath. So there's 4 Audison Voce amplifiers underneath here. In terms of the design, we've actually used the Lamborghini Y in terms of forming a foundation for it, and then actually embossed that into the actual glasswork here as well as added in our logo in between. But again, this is all customizable. In terms of obviously what we've done here, underneath is where all of the hard work really does come into show. Underneath here, we've got a custom panel, which is actually, again, colored the same Lamborghini orange as the vehicle. And that actually houses the 4 Audison Voce amplifiers. But again, guys, in a reversible way. This whole system can come out of this car, move to another car. All of your investment in terms of the actual kit itself can be retained, as well as the fact, obviously, it can move to that next car, and we can revert this car back to stock whenever our customer wants us to. But inside here, you're housing those 4 Audison Voce amplifiers, providing a lot of power to the system. Not only does power give you volume, but also it gives you clarity at lower volumes and throughout that whole spectrum. And it allows those products that you've invested into that front end, like those Audison Thesis components, to perform inch perfectly and perform to their optimum. Obviously, this was no easy task to get these 4 Audison Voce amplifiers into this panel, but also having the ability to remove this floor, put the factory one back in, and lose no boot room whatsoever. Honestly, our team have absolutely nailed it on this one. I absolutely love the system, and the system sounds absolutely incredible too. But we've also, another little touch on this custom floor, we've actually used our CNC machine to etch in the Urus logo at the back there, which looks exceptional because the factory floor does sit up at the back and we replicate that in the new panel, which looks lovely, but it's a really subtle little touch that just sets things off and makes things a lot more custom. If the custom sound system wasn't enough, we've actually managed to add on our lighting package that we've offered to our customer as well. It looks absolutely spectacular and it's a nice little party trick. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the whole series, but we will have a separate video on the lighting system on the Lamborghini Urus, like we've got on a couple of other cars on our channel. So stay tuned for that, guys, by hitting that subscribe button, because that will be coming very, very soon. But thank you so much for watching. Please, also, I want to take a minute just to thank our team for creating such an incredible system for our customers day in and day out. Honestly, the system sounds absolutely amazing. So thank you so much to our team. Thank you guys at home for watching. Stay tuned for the whole video and the whole series. We look forward to seeing you next time.